Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild. It's the pitch for a brand new city that claims it can heal people with quantum physics and lets you trade its real estate on the blockchain. So, let's break down the incredibly ambitious vision for Soulution City.
Let's just start with a number, shall we? $18 billion. That is the total proposed price tag for this mega project. Right away, a number like that tells you the level of ambition we're talking about here is just completely off the charts. Okay, so you take that giant pile of cash, and what do you do with it? Well, according to this plan, you pair it with some of the most advanced and, let's be honest, most mind-bending technology you can possibly imagine. We're talking quantum physics and artificial intelligence running as the city's core operating system. So you've got the money, you've got the futuristic tech, which brings us to the big question, right? What in the world are they actually proposing to build with all of this?
All right, let's get into it. The project is called Soulution City, and it's planned for Dubai. The whole goal is to create what its founders are calling a phygital metropolis.
So, phygital, what does that even mean? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like, a mashup of physical and digital. The core idea is that every single physical thing in the city, a villa, a therapy center, you name it, also exists a digital twin on the blockchain. This isn't just some record, it's an actual tradable token that represents real-world ownership.
And the vision for this place, it is absolutely staggering. The pitch deck claims this city will become a global hub for spiritual tourism, pulling in 5 million visitors every single year. They're projecting that'll generate $10 billion in annual revenue, building up to a potential IPO worth, get this, $120 billion. Just wow.
So, you hear those numbers and you have to ask, why? Why try to build something this audacious, and why plant it in Dubai, of all places? Well, according to the pitch, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy, it's a calculated business move aimed at a massive, and I mean massive, market opportunity.
And here is the number that props up the entire business case, $7.2 trillion. That's how big they estimate the global wellness and spirituality market to be. So you see, they're not just building a city for the sake of it, they are trying to carve out a serious slice of that multi-trillion-dollar pie.
Now, this slide is where it gets really strategic. They're essentially positioning Soulution City as the answer to several key challenges in the region. You've got traditional financial risk. Bam! They counter with asset tokenization that's fully compliant with Dubai's Virtual Assets Authority, or VARA. Outdated technologies? Nope. They're leapfrogging straight to AI and quantum computing. And what about regional rivalries? Well, they're positioning this to make Dubai a center for soft power, cultural influence, by becoming the world's go-to spot for modern spirituality.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Let's get into the how. How is all of this supposed to actually work? It really boils down to two big, very futuristic concepts: digital ownership and something they call quantum healing.
First up is asset tokenization. Think of it like this. Instead of buying a whole building, you can buy a digital token that represents one tiny piece of it. It's kind of like a stock, but for a physical asset. And the best part? Thanks to smart contracts, any profit that building generates gets automatically and transparently sent right back to you as a token holder. It's fractional ownership supercharged for the digital age. All right, now for the second idea. And this one's a bit more out there. They call it quantum healing. The pitch deck is a little light on the exact specifics, to be honest, but the gist seems to be about using quantum computing and AI to simulate biological systems and create hyper-personalized therapies. It is a bold, almost science fiction-level claim that turns the entire city into a kind of living laboratory.
So, how does this all make money? The business model is built on three distinct ecosystems. First, there's ocean healing. Imagine a luxury underwater environment offering therapies all based on the wellness effects of being near water. Next up is desert wisdom. This one is all about deep meditation and reflection out in the quiet of the desert, and it's apparently centered around some pretty unique features, like massive crystal pyramids.
And finally, we have the forest sanctuary. This is the green, eco-friendly part of the city, with a heavy focus on sustainability, ESG principles, and something they call eco-healing. The whole idea is that each one of these ecosystems becomes its own unique, high-end tourist destination. Okay, underwater hotels, crystal pyramids, quantum healing centers. You're probably thinking what I'm thinking. That sounds ridiculously expensive. So let's flip over to the financial side of things and talk about that $18 billion price tag.
So even though the total project cost is massive, they're not asking for all of it at once. The very first step, the initial seed round, just to get the ball rolling, is a much, much smaller ask, $1.5 million.
And this is super interesting. Look where that initial capital is supposed to go. They're not pouring concrete yet. A huge 70% of it is for the digital and legal framework, getting that Vera compliance sorted out and building a basic version of the tokenization platform. The rest is for the team and marketing. It's a classic startup move. Prove the model works digitally before you start building physically.
All right, so if you're a potential investor, you're looking at all this and thinking, this sounds incredible, but what could possibly go wrong? It's a totally fair question, right? How does a project this futuristic, with so much on the line, plan to handle the very real-world risks involved? And you know what? To their credit, the pitch deck doesn't shy away from this. They address the potential concerns head-on. For legal and regulatory risk, they plan to work directly with experts in Dubai. For the massive scale of construction, the strategy is to hire a COO who already has a proven track record with mega projects in the UAE. And for the huge technical and cultural challenges, they propose recruiting top-tier experts and focusing on a message of tolerance and dialogue.
This quote from their executive summary really nails the core sales pitch. They're trying to tell investors, look, this isn't just another speculative real estate venture. Think of it as a totally new kind of asset, a phygital one, with high profit potential and low political risk. It's a blend of physical security and digital liquidity.
And that really leaves us with the final question, doesn't it? Is this the actual blueprint for the cities of the future, where ownership is decentralized and wellness is driven by data? Or is it a fantastically ambitious dream that's just built on all the latest buzzwords? We've decoded the pitch for you. The final verdict, well, that's up to you.